Many thanks for joining us. Now details of the news. The Federal Executive Council says the administration of President Bola Tinubu has been intentional to further invigorate the economy by various steps, including the award of capital projects to empower millions of Nigerians in the sector. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this at the briefing after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council this Tuesday. State House correspondent Musbau Dan Wahab reports that the council approved award of contract for the rehabilitation of Alu Dam, Maiduguri, which was responsible for the disastrous flood in the state last year.
A second consecutive meeting of a top policy-making body in the country in 2 days. Picking up from where they left off, on Monday, the council members clearly still had a lot more on their table. Another set of 67 memoranda to consider, and the council apparently would spare no time to further inject more life into the national economy. After deliberations, Information and National Orientation Minister yet again with his colleagues to brief newsmen, acting on the recommendation of its committee assessing the state of dams in the country, the council has expressly approved the sum of 80 billion naira for the immediate rehabilitation and expansion of a failing Alau Dam, which claimed lives and destroyed properties last year in Maiduguri and its environs.
And we are believing that between now and July this year, the first component of that work will be established so that this year there will be no flooding in Maiduguri again.
Ministry of Works again secured council's approval for 14 road projects, including sections of a Phase 1 Lagos-Ibadan road, which the minister says the government hopes to complete by April.
We are poised to take over some of the routes if any of them will not be completed by the month of April, because we need to commission that project.
Similarly, the FCT administration got approval for 6 projects, which include the rehabilitation of Phase 1, 3, and 4 of the Lower Usuma Dam water treatment plants in Abuja.
They are mainly on infrastructure development and adequate water supply to the people of FCT and the environment.
The council also directed that Nigeria ratifies the African Medicines Agency Treaty approved since 2019 by the African heads of state to enhance sufficiency in production of pharmaceuticals on the continent.
Is to enhance the capacity of all state parties that have ratified it, to improve their regulatory capacities regarding medical products, to increase access to safe, quality-assured, efficacious medical products, and use common standards across the continent towards a Pan-African regulatory framework for medicines, medical products, and pharmaceuticals.
The ministry equally secured approval to expand infrastructure and equip facilities in 6 tertiary institutions across the country, put at 12 billion naira. Meanwhile, the council has directed the Debt Management Office to raise a 758 billion naira federal government bond to clear backlog of pension payments.
And that is to clear up the backlog of pension liabilities owed various categories of pensioners who are owed funds under the defined benefit system that preceded the defined contributory pension scheme that came into force in 2004 and of course was updated with a new act in 2014.
The council also announced a 30 million euro long-term concession of financing from a French development agency for the provision of clean energy-based student housing across the country.
The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is listening to the public and ensuring that the economy comes back to life once again. And the reforms are working. The economy is actually beginning to turn the corner. And this year, 2025, is a year of consolidation of all the reforms that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has and his administration has embarked upon, and we believe that by the end of the year, the economy will be a lot better.
From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has been commended for the various reforms of his administration, which have enhanced good climate for businesses to thrive in Nigeria. The outgoing president, ExxonMobil upstream Liam Malone, gave the commendation as he visited the president at the State House. He expressed appreciation to the president for what he described as encouragement for investments in the country. Mr. Malone, who is proceeding on retirement at the multinational oil company, also introduced his successor, Dan Aman, to the president.
Strong support from this administration to make the transition of our shallow water business to Seplat Energy. We're very excited. That will unlock potential for all of Nigeria. That's number one. And secondly, the administration's support, in particular with the president's directives to encourage investment in the deep water, will, in my view, set us up for many years to come with many exciting developments. So this administration has been extremely supportive of the potential to expand oil and gas, low emissions oil and gas in this country. Very supportive.
ExxonMobil is currently embarking on one of the biggest oil projects in Nigeria, and the incoming president upstream says the company is at the moment considering expanding the scope of investment in the Nigerian oil and gas sector.
We're looking forward now on a refocused business focused on deep water. We have a lot of exciting prospects and opportunities that I've reviewed with the team just yesterday, and we're looking forward to advancing those as quickly as we can with the support of the President's directives, the support of the government, and we're very excited about the future here.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has pledged his support for the Niger Creates project as part of efforts for the nation's economy to be transformed. The Vice President said Niger Creates, an enterprise championed by Mo Abudu, has the potential of being Nigeria's flagship cultural diplomacy initiative that will truly project the country through tourism, arts, music and fashion at the global stage. He commended her contributions to the development of the entertainment industry in Nigeria, noting that there were a lot of positives about the country that should be exported to the international community. He invited Abudu to join the federal government's IDC team and deploy her expertise to help actualize the administration's goals in the technology and creative sector. Mo Abudu said Niger Creates is an initiative that will help celebrate excellence in Nigeria's creative sector. The Niger Creates initiative will debut in the United Kingdom during the 2025 summer. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has declined assent to the bill seeking establishment of the Federal University of Education, Numan, Adamawa State, which was passed by the National Assembly last year. The president conveyed his decision to the House of Representatives in a letter read at plenary by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. President Tinubu cited wrong allocation of presidential powers in Section 22 of the bill, among other drafting errors, as reasons for refusing assent.
I'm declining assent to the bill due to the following reasons. A. Section 22 of the bill accords the authority to consent to the disposal of land to the governor and not the president, as ought to be the case in respect of land belonging to a federal government entity in the case of universities. 2. The word status is spelled as status in items 13 and 15 under arrangement of sections. 3. Prepositions of is omitted between the word award and degree in section 25(4) sub B, and the phrase 1/3 is spelled as 1/3 in Article 4, subsection 3 of the third schedule to the bill.
National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikben reports that the Senate and House of Representatives observed a minute silence and adjourned plenary in honor of late House Deputy Chief Whip Adewumi Onanuga from Ogun State, who died on 15th of January this year. She was eulogized as the only female principal officer of the 10th Assembly, who also served as Chairman House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development in the 9th Assembly. Following assent of President Bola Tinubu to bills establishing development commissions for regions in the country, Senate has appointed chairman and deputy chairman of standing committees to oversight the commissions. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the Senate also reshuffled leadership of some committees.
The new chairman of the Senate committee,
presiding over plenary after the break for budget defense sessions on the 2025 fiscal plan, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, announced additional standing committees in the Senate and their leadership. Establishment of the committees was sequel to assents to related legislations by the President. The new committees are for the Northwest Development Commission with Senator Babangida Hussaini as chairman, the Southwest Development Commission headed by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, while the Committee for the North Central Development Commission has Senator Titus Zam as chairman. Senate also made changes to leadership of some standing committees, which include Senate Committee on National Population, the Committee on Local Content, and that of Diaspora and NGOs, among others. In another development, the Kano State Caucus, as the Senate, has commended President Tinubu for his assent to the bill establishing Federal Polytechnic in Rano, Kano State.
The establishment of Federal Polytechnic Rano is not just a victory for our community or our zone or our senatorial district. It is a transformative step forward for the entire state of Kano and Nigeria at large.
Meanwhile, Senate Committee on Public Accounts has threatened to issue warrants of arrest on heads of some agencies of government for failure to respond to summons.
Central Bank still charges a consolidated revenue funds account with 650 billion naira. To interact, interface with Central Bank to know how and why hasn't been possible. More than 8 invitations have been extended to the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service. Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited has been invited over 9 times. Nigerian Police Force has never appeared before this committee, despite all communications. FCT Internal Revenue Service, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, and quite a number of them.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The news at 10 is reaching you on NTA News 24. Still ahead on business? Nigerians urge maximization of local refineries. Thanks for staying with us. With the revitalization of Nigeria's local refineries, the importation of petroleum products should be phased out in the quickest possible time. This is the position of concerned citizens of Nigeria who, at a media briefing in Abuja, expressed concern over 1 million tons of fuel allegedly set to be imported in February. The group says this seems illogical, especially when local refining capacity is available from the Dangote and other refineries across the country.
Immediate halt to unnecessary fuel importation. A mandatory policy should be put in place to prioritize indigenous refineries. The federal government must direct all public fuel procurement to local refiners before considering any imports.
The governing All Progressives Congress APC has pledged to deploy all necessary assets of the party to ensure a free, fair, credible and transparent governorship primary in Anambra State come April 2025. This came to the fore when the national chairman received in audience the national executive members of APC booth to booth for President Bola Tinubu.
The national secretariat of the governing party played host to APC booth to booth, one of the political groups that traversed the country to drum up support for the president in 2023 general elections. The group also crisscrossed the length and breadth of the country to distribute palliatives to vulnerable Nigerians at the peak of the fuel subsidy removal and other economic policies aimed at economic recovery and growth. And this visit is to request to the National Working Committee of the party to provide a level playing ground during the Anambra governorship primary billed for April 2025.
And with the caliber of people that have indicated interest in that election, we believe that if a credible primary is conducted and it is clear to everybody that a winner emerged through a credible process, if they all work together, victory should be ours.
Anambra should assist in providing conducive atmosphere for peaceful election. And as a party, also I said, major stakeholders, if we are to have a good primary and good election in Anambra State, all our stakeholders must be born again.
The national chairman also received a delegation from Bishop Mighty Kuka Center, led by Reverend Father Atabar Kindo, where they appreciated the national chairman for his continued support to the center. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Nigerians have been told to disregard calls from various quarters to rise against the federal government, describing such statements as not just reckless and irresponsible, but dangerous acts of incitement that must not be tolerated in any civilized society. At a media briefing in Abuja, a coalition of patriots under the banner of Concerned Democrats demanded that the law intervenes and takes its full course against those who think they can manipulate Nigerians, especially the youths, into chaos. The group says Nigeria is a nation governed by laws, and the government will not fold its arms and allow any individual, no matter how politically frustrated they are, to disrupt the peace and stability of the nation.
Others who think they can manipulate our youth into chaos should rethink their actions. Nigeria is not a lawless country, and it will not hold its arms while unpatriotic elements attempt to derail national progress. The Concerned Democrats stand firm in defending democracy, peace, and national stability.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has released its 2025 seasonal climate prediction, forecasting a late onset of rain across the country. Festus Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, announced the forecast during the seasonal prediction presentation in Abuja. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
This document released by the Minister of Aviation consists of weather forecasts for the year 2025, focusing mainly on rain pattern, temperature, as well as outbreak of diseases such as malaria and meningitis. It is predicted that the onset of the rainy season is anticipated between March and April over the southern states. The season will set in the northern states between June and July 2025. However, the states of Kaduna, Niger, Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba, Adamawa, and Kwara will experience a delayed onset. 12 states are predicted to experience a severe dry spell that will last for 21 days without rainfall during the season.
A delayed end of season is expected over parts of Kaduna, Nasarawa, Benue, Lagos, Kwara, Taraba, Oyo, Ogun, Cross River, Delta, Akwa Ibom, Ebonyi, Anambra, and Enugu states. The predicted length of rainy season in 2025 is expected to be mostly normal across the country. However, Borno and parts of Yobe states could experience shorter than normal length of season. High intensity rainfall is expected in May, June that may likely result in flash floods in coastal states.
The daytime temperature in 2025 is expected to range between 28.8 degrees Celsius and 35 degrees Celsius.
Working with NIMET on this front is critical, and it enables us to guide our farmers as we plan. We are also integrating the SCP into the current programs we are designing, especially our soil health care scheme, for example.
Aviation and marine expert and the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, praised NIMET for the timely release of seasonal prediction, stating that the information will significantly aid in addressing environmental challenges. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
This is the news at 10.